Police emergency, this is Simone.
Yeah, hi. My son is missing. He's 3.5. He was just playing around here. We heard him, and then we heard nothing. He'd be about 2.5 feet. He's wearing a Spider-Man outfit, and we heard him roaring around the garden, and then I thought, oh, I haven't heard him. I better go.
At 10:57 in the morning of September 12, 2014, O, the Australian equivalent of 911, received a call from a house near Port Macquarie on the north coast of New South Wales. The woman on the other side of the line told the operator that she and her family were visiting her mother's house at Kendall, and her son, 3-year-old William Tyrrell, had gone missing while playing hide-and-seek in the backyard. She said that shortly before he disappeared, she heard him imitate a tiger's roar, and then everything went silent. She went to check on him, but he was nowhere to be seen. New South Wales police force immediately arrived at the scene and began investigating, hoping that the kid had only lost his way and would soon be found. But it's been a decade and there's still no sign of the 3-year-old anywhere. Born in June of 2011, William Tyrrell's biological parents had a history of domestic violence and drug abuse. Thinking that this kind of environment wasn't good for a child of William's age, Department of Family and Community Services removed William from his biological parents' care, and he was placed in foster care of a couple who lived near Sydney's North Shore. William's biological parents tried to retain his custody, but they were not successful. They were allowed infrequent visiting right, but under the caveat of those visits being supervised. William, who had a bright and endearing smile and a great sense of humor, was loved and adored by his foster family. He was a big fan of Spider-Man and wouldn't part ways with his favorite Spidey costume he got as a present on his 3rd birthday. In September of 2014, William's foster family decided to visit their grandmother's place in Kendall, a small town on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, Australia. So on September 11th, after being on the road for 4 hours, William, along with his foster parents and 5-year-old sister, arrived at his foster grandmother's house on Bannaroon Drive near Kendall State Forest. The following day at around 10 a.m., William and his sister were playing hide-and-seek in the front and rear yard of the house while their grandmother and mother were sitting there gabbing about their routine and also keeping an eye on the kids. William's foster mother, who wanted a cup of tea, was heading inside when she saw William imitating a tiger's roar and running to the side of the house. She said that after she heard that roar, there was complete silence, and when William didn't come back, she began to worry and went to check on him, but the 3-year-old was nowhere to be seen. She, along with her mother, searched for him and were soon joined by her husband, who returned from a business meeting in Lakewood. Together they searched the street and knocked on neighbors' doors, but when they didn't find William anywhere, they called O and reported him as missing. Within minutes after the call, New South Wales Police was present on the scene. They, along with the members of the State Emergency Services and Rural Fire Services and civilians who volunteered, combed the area. A team of specially trained investigators named Strike Force Roseanne was formed on September 16, and its job was to provide support to the police and other agencies working on this case. Services of police helicopter, expert divers, and scent dogs were also used in the search efforts, and every house in the neighborhood was searched. But after 5 days of tirelessly searching for the 3-year-old, none of these efforts proved to be fruitful. At this point, police was convinced that William Tyrrell didn't lost his way home but was abducted by someone. They were now investigating this case as an abduction case, and they soon learned about 2 cars that were parked in the neighborhood on the morning Tyrrell went missing. In a tight-knit neighborhood where everyone knew each other, these cars were unfamiliar. The neighbors described the cars as an old-style grey sedan and a white station wagon parked between two driveways of the acre-lot land. The cars had their driver's side windows down and were never seen after the day William Tyrrell went missing. William's foster mother also remembers seeing these cars, and according to some reports, at around 9 that morning, a white sedan car entered the Banneroon Drive area, drove into a dead end, and after taking a U-turn in the neighbor's driveway, the car drove out of the street. Then at 10:30, around same time when William Tyrrell went missing, another car was seen driving out of the area. The same car was later seen speeding down another Kendall street. Police were investigating the involvement of a pedophile ring's involvement in William Tyrrell's abduction and were particularly suspicious of two convicted child molesters. They researched and investigated these men, and family members of one of these men, who had a total of 90 convictions including aggravated indecent assault of a minor to his name, revealed that on the day William went missing, the man was going to meet another child offender, and when he returned home that day, he was heavily intoxicated. Both men lived in the Kendall area and drove vehicles similar to those described by the witnesses. When questioned by authorities, both men vehemently denied knowing each other and having any involvement in the abduction of the 3-year-old William Tyrrell. Another man who repaired a washing machine for William's foster grandmother 3 days before his disappearance was also named as a person of interest after a Spider-Man toy was found in his van. After this, the man was charged with a litany of child sexual offenses and his name was dragged through the mud. In September of 2015, the man posted a video on social media and denied any involvement in William's disappearance. He said that on the day William Tyrrell went missing, he wasn't present on Banneroon Drive, a claim which later was confirmed to be true, and all the charges laid against him were dropped. He later sued NSW police force for damages in relation to misfeasance in public office, abuse of process, and malicious prosecution. His legal team said that police laid these charges against their client as a part of a smear campaign to pressurize him to confess to William Tyrrell's abduction. In December of 2022, the Supreme Court of New South Wales decided in his favor and the man was paid $1.48 million in damages. Back in 2016, a reward of $1 million, which is by far the largest reward for a missing person case in New South Wales history, was offered by New South Wales government, and recovery of William Tyrrell was added as a condition for the reward. For over 9 years now, police have been doing everything they can to solve this case, and even after receiving thousands of tips, they are unable to crack this case open. Due to mysterious nature of this case, many theories have been presented, but only 3 of them stand out from the rest. According to this theory, William Tyrrell is still alive despite the popular belief that he was killed by his kidnapper. This theory seems far-fetched, but the fact that over the years after he went missing, more than 1,000 suspected sightings of him have been reported to the authorities, making it something more than a conjecture. This theory revolves around the authorities' suspicion of a pedophile ring being involved in the abduction and possible murder of William Tyrrell, as there were reports of nearly 20 registered sex offenders living in the area of Kendall. In relation to this theory, police researched and investigated 2 men who had a history of crime against children and also drove cars similar to the ones seen by witnesses. On top of this, these men didn't have solid alibis, which make things more confusing when you think why didn't police probe this further and name these men as official suspects. To find his remains, police have over the years searched several sites, but they are yet to find his remains. As it is in the most of the child abduction cases, the blame falls on the parents, and in the case of William Tyrrell's abduction, people suspected his foster family to know more than they let on. People have theorized that William, while playing that day, fatally fell down from the second story of his foster grandma's house, and when his foster family learned about it, they, instead of thinking rationally, panicked and tried to get rid of his body and took it into a nearby bushland where it was dumped as they feared they would be blamed for the 3-year-old death. Police investigated this theory and dug the lawn of foster grandma's house, which was now sold off, but they found nothing but dirt there. A nearby bushland was also dug by the police, but nothing was found there. They also sighted a vehicle which previously belonged to the foster grandmother, but it too didn't yield anything significant. In April of 2022, William Tyrrell's foster mother was charged with providing false or misleading information to the New South Wales Crime Commission at a hearing about William Tyrrell's disappearance. It was reported that she lied about alleged assault of a child, as the evidence presented to the court didn't match her testimony. She was later found not guilty of the charge, as her attorney argued that she was under stress during the hearing and there is no way to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she deliberately lied during the commission hearing. After being acquitted of the charge, 57-year-old said that with this behind her, she hopes that police will focus on finding William and what happened to him. This is an open investigation, and if you know anything which can be helpful in finding William Tyrrell and solving this case, we urge you to contact concerned authorities. Thanks for being here. If you like this type of content, please like this video, leave a comment behind. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you're never gonna miss any of our future uploads. Stay tuned for our next video. Until then, goodbye.